Oh, we're back. Okay, cool. Finally. Jesus Christ. Uh, the batteries of the goggles ran out. They weren't very useful.
The map. Better take it and get out of this dark place.
Fun fact, I'm funny, haha. Hashtag I found a funny dude in the Mass Studios game. Okay. I found a funny in the mass Studios game. It is so funny. There we go. I tweeted about it. Katie, can you say something in the chat? Because I want to know if my chat is broken or not. My chat is not broken, that's good. Just gonna look down the whole time. What do you mean run? Oh, okay, other way. Okay, oh, fuck. You can't just do that to me, game. That's just bullshit.
Whoa, I found the map.
Excellent. Was it difficult to find?
Not
Yes.
so much. Mostly, it was just very dark in that place.
Luckily,
You
had
fucking
safety
liar,
glasses.
Jimmy.
Was it useful?
Honestly, your glasses sucked. The battery literally ran out in like 10 seconds. You should like get a real job. And sorry, but I have to find my hat. I've wasted way too much time with you.
Well, now he's after me too. Well, you're just bad. I'm just looking for weird, stupid games. My hat!
My hat!
Congratulations, Jimmy! You did it!
What?
Yeah, Jimmy, congratulations.
Can someone explain to me
Dave?
what's happening?
We stole your hat just to create an adventure for you.
We only did it because today is your birthday.
Guys, my birthday's not today. Also, someone has to give me some money to repair that wall of my house.
Oh, Jimmy, look behind you. A flying unicorn!
Where is it? Guys? Where are you? Come back. Like, I really want that money.
Well, this is the end of our
What?
story. I hope the story wasn't too scary for you. Now Jimmy will have to pay for the damage with his own money. But in the end, he found his favorite hat, and this hat, it's me.
Oh!
Kids, I'm a talking hat and narrator of this story. Ha ha ha!
He's making me want to play the Stanley Parable.
Ah!
That was awesome. I really liked that game. Let me download the Stanley Parable. Well, you've doomed me. Uh-oh. JQRZN. What could that mean? JQRZN. What the fuck could that mean? Jazz it up. What the fuck is this? Oh my god, it's a downloadable game for Windows and Mac and Linux? Wow. Sorry if the stream is laggy while I'm downloading shit. Doesn't seem to me, actually. Jazz Windows. Dude, it's my favorite game, Jazz. I like jazz. I wanna get better at drums so I can do like some jazzy kind of shit. But I'm not, so I'm not the greatest at them. So that's why I gotta keep learning. W-E... What? No. I love how the animations are actually in with it. Bass solo, baby! Okay, the game's really out of time. Cooking with cat in the kitchen. What will she make? Why is there a game here called Drowning? What is this itch? Is the story of a young girl who dives into the sea in underwater city, but were you really invited here for fun? So I drowned. Okay, cool. Sounds like fun. Sounds like this game could be a lot of fun. Drowning. But I'm not gonna play it. Cause you know, just don't want ya. Alright, cooking with cat. Fuck. Why is it square? No, it's meant to be square. Okay. Great music. Oh, and it just looped. Okay. Alrighty. What is this fucking game? Off the table. Fuck. Alright then. Panini! Eggs. Eggs. Mayo. This is looking like a panini already. Shit. This is nothing, it just says, why? So I killed the cat and it made a Steve noise. No! Wait, have I just lost the bread forever? What do I do about my bread? Okay. On. Go. I've had okay, let's eat it. My face when I'm stupid. Push the damn thing. Why did that make like a plastic noise? I mean, I guess it was plastic bag. I meant hard plastic. Get off. Shit. Go. Yeah, baby. Whee. Where'd my panini go? What? You can't... You can't just take it away! My panini! I worked so hard for that! Oh my god, I can move around on the floor. My fucking panini! They just up and dipped with my panini. This is bullshit. This game sucks. 0 out of 10. Anyway, time to play the Stanley Parable. If you haven't seen this game. Oh, okay, cool. Just squish my screen, why don't you? If you haven't seen the Stanley Parable, then, you're stupid. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. So I have to pay for the entire game and probably more again. Fuck! The end is never the end, the end is never the end, the end is never the end. The end is loading. There's a new fucking Stanley Parable thing coming out, and it's like a reimagining of this game. But it's not like a DLC. This is the story of your mother. Oh, I didn't. Okay. I was turning up the volume. Begin the game again. Anyway, but it's not a DLC, it's just another game, so probably have to pay for the game again. Now, I wanted to hear what he had to say.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Sick.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
That's
Orders
so
came to
cool.
him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
I wish I was happy.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time.
Yeah, no, I'd love
As he
that.
came to his wits and regained
Or to
his
just
senses,
type things.
he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. Oh, we're gonna go through this once and we're just gonna do whatever the narrator says.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either.
Fuck!
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Boss, I need you. Where is it? Where is everybody? There's no one here.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
His boss's office.
I walk
Walk to Burger King, then I walk back home from Burger King. I don't know why I was singing that like so out of key. Hello, Daniel. Hello, Daniel. Hey, I crashed the Stanley Parable. I literally crashed the game. Please don't. The end is never, the end is never, the end is never, the end is never.
All of his co-workers were good.
Okay, it doesn't change anything. I love this. The sound design of this game is just perfect. It's gonna crash again, isn't it? Huh, surprisingly not.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ah, it changes. I forgot it did that. Caitlin, don't be right back at me now.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
Fuck you,
Coming to a
Daniel.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Wow,
Shocked,
fuck.
unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Sick.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Your mother. We found an elevator.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest,
Why would
as
you
though he
say that
felt
to
more
me?
free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay.
The
Why do
lights
you hate me,
rose on
Darcy?
An enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Fucking loser.
Now the monitors jumped to life.
Fired.
Their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to
Yeah, I see
images
me.
on a screen. And Stanley,
no, that's
one
him.
of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Sick. You came on today at school. Okay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept
loser.
it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it.
SCP-173,
His own life
Katie.
in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly
I can't wait
spent
to
his
get a new
entire
CPU
life
so that I can
utterly
actually play
blind
SCP,
to the
stream
world?
better, and play other games. Yeah.
But here was
What?
the
His
proof,
entire
the
page
heart
is
of the
going by.
operation.
Why can't they
Controls
just
labeled
take the
with
picture
emotions,
away?
Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Once and forever. Ah. Okay. I get it. I get it. God fucking damn it. Where's one?
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
One FPS. Oh.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected.
Give me a sec. I want to play the beginner's guide again because I remember that game being really good. It's by the same guy. I need to play it again. I forget what happens. I remember it's just fucking sad.
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
Your mother.
As sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
Oh my god, he said doo-doo!
It will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
What the fuck are we playing? Skyrim? Why are we in Skyrim?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Minecraft 2 confirmed. There's a Minecraft ending in this game, I don't remember how to get to it. I think it's just denying everything. Let me do it again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let me see if I can get to the Minecraft ending.
When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, fuck you.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I know, right?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
No,
There's
yeah.
someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Wait, what? I don't know the lore of this game. Who the fuck is her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside.
Who the
To
fuck
let
is
back
her?
into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone. As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the
Jeez,
most
okay.
basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the
Man, this guy's
severity of the
pissed.
situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
What? What the fuck?
It's the best part of being a real person, but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person
playing
named
FNAF.
Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he
I
could
don't know.
systematically set fire to every
I've
orphan
never seen this
living in a
ending.
30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make?
The
Remember
burning one.
that unlike
Awesome.
here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with
Fish.
a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice
guess I
saying,
don't exist.
"My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
What? Is this telling me to do something? What? Oh. Hey, the game crashed again. Let's go! Yeah, I never existed. Alright, well, I didn't get that ending because of the fact that the game crashed. So that's fun.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Where is it? Wait, is this a door I can go to?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Fuck, how do I do this again? Is it this one or is it the different room? I think it's a different room. No, it's not. Fuck, how do I do it again? Maybe it is a different one then?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Fuck, which room is it again?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave
Why are the subtitles off?
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his
Whoa.
boss's office, hoping he... Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
What do you mean there's nothing here? There's a fucking broom.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his
I know there's
boss's
a
office.
thing that I can do with the boss's office if I...
Stepping in...
I don't know if this breaks the game. I think it's broken the game. What if I just continue doing the other way? I've just broken the game. That's all I've done. It's the one thing I'm good at.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
I know there's a way I can get up on the table. I've just forgotten how. Boxes. Boxes make go up. box not close enough to table. Why are those doors open? Oh, Steam has finished downloading the beginner's guide. Sick. Katie now has, like 1,000 or
Stanley
something.
came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Ha 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 ha
There
ha
was
ha,
not a single
loser.
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Daniel, I love how you say not too shabby when she used to have 27,000.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as
Dan, you
Stanley
missed the...
pondered this,
Oh, wait, no,
he
you were
began to
there.
make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation.
Sick.
His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float around. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. Voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
God.
Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that?
No.
This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Well,
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
what?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man.
I didn't kill anyone.
Crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Alright then.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, you missed the entire ending. How do you manage that?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
I
this
didn't
was
kill
not the
anyone.
correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Alright, so Dan, you're still in the stream, right? Cool. Because I just got the information that my sister has COVID. Anyway, back to the stream.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to...
I'm just saying this because I'm not sure if I'll be able to leave the house at all or anything. Because, yeah.
convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Oh, I think this is the Minecraft ending.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is
Oh
this
my
what
god,
you
it's the
wanted?
source
Was
engine.
it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door?
So many
Well,
endings.
it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look. Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting.
Okay.
You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this
Oh.
the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes
I have 2 hours on this game.
on your experience.
Burn! Burn, bitch! I hate children!
You heartless bastard.
Hell yeah, I am!
Because you hate babies or... Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing
More
that might
burning
improve the
children.
experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else?
Yeah, no, I'm correct.
To ease the
This is
pain.
the Minecraft ending.
Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Here we are in Minecraft.
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here, no, here, and then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course, and just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete.
This is from back in 2013, so all the
Look at it.
textures are
Gaze
weird.
upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. But you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
I always forget that there's more to this ending. And it's not just you're in the house and then you're gone.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
No.
Oh, no, 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 no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Oh, okay. Oh my god, Portal!
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love
Oh right, they
it.
talk to each other, don't they?
You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Oh, I can't jump, I can't b-hop.
It's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte. Genius. No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through anymore.
Filing cabinets. Let's go this way. Hallway is my worst fear. I'm stuck in limbo. Can I do anything or do I just have to restart? What the fuck am I doing? I think I'm just stuck. Alright, next game. The Beginner's Guide. Something I haven't played in a while. Good game, good game. I'd love it if Twitch would actually load games that I can change to. There it is. Perfect. This is by the same guy. What the fuck? I made it windowed borderless for a reason. There we go. This is a really good game. Yeah, listen. It's about the creator of the game. It's pretty sad. It's... well, just find out for yourself while we
Hi
play
there.
it.
Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here.
Let me turn it up for you guys.
So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Here's the first game.
Warning. Whisper machine active. Shift destruction imminent.
Whisper machine active.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
I cannot reload my gun.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room. Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it. Or, if you'd really like to solve the labyrinth, you're welcome to do that too. Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the Whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the Whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead. The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
The boss was behind her. I'm pushing W, pushing A and D.
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards. So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative.
Why does the future
It is
keep
less
changing?
advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. The future is always behind her. How will she find the strength? to confront it.
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
You are now entering. That's it.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
December 2008.
Oftentimes, Coda would
Nonsense
put
in
bizarre
the
titles like
direction.
this one at the start of his games.
I remember this one. You try to go up
I
the
wish I'd known
stairs
him
and it
at the
slows
time
you
that he
down.
was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
You can never make it to the top.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Let's just keep going. I'm kidding. Plays a pair of floating eyes, emitting footstep noises. A key in one game unlocks a door in a completely separate game. You are a gate. There's nothing but giant blocks of text explaining what's happening. Normal game where you have to scream into a mic every 15 seconds to keep playing. That would be me.
Filled with little ideas for games.
Walk around talking people down for pursuing their hopes and dreams. It's not a small room until you realize
Coda
you can
would
just
often
walk
tell
through
me
the
that
walls.
he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant.
Stared on
He
an
said that
X,
he
staring
knew
at a
that
bear
he was
for 3
actually a
hours.
vibrant and compassionate person,
What
but
a-
that it takes
a
time
game
to
filled
really
with
see
chairs,
that.
except one chair is
It can be a
floating.
very slow climb to get there.
Construct a wall. The wall is destroyed. You are given a medal. Sharks are trying to eat you. Simultaneously, you are trying to eat the sharks. I like his ideas. I like your funny words, Magic Man. This is a really good game. Trust me.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it. Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
Sick.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle,
Yeah,
you
that's
get to
it.
the end. Simple enough. Alright,
What's
now I'm
this?
going to modify the game again, so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
There's no more doors, there's no more nothing, but then there's billions of rooms everywhere.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
And now, you are now exiting.
Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
The Great and Lovely Descent.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
Yep. You gonna say this is running on
To
Source?
make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source.
Yep.
Like all engines,
What the
Source
fuck?
has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Onward, up, onward, up, onward.
This
And
prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Aww.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in
I love
and
this guy.
nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't. It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
It's just a good puzzle, man. It's just a good puzzle. You there? Did you come from above, or what was
Here,
up
Coda
there?
begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to
Yeah, there was
respond.
an enormous prison that's been housing. I saw it above. You've been there. It was important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. That was literally the last thing I did before coming here. Again, perfect. Now please tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution to us. How you got to the other side. Trust me, you don't want to go over there. I know, but I do. We do. We need to get out there. Do you understand? It is the most important thing in the world. We have to escape this prison. There must be an ending. I promise you, there is nothing I want more. does it again. Oh, how did you get here? Was the puzzle? Yes, do you want to know how to solve it? I don't know, we actually find the blank space between the doors to be far more interesting. Have you seen it yet? Actually, now that you mention it, I remember feeling changes that passed through. Don't think too hard about it. You'll see it again soon. This game is really fucking good. I love the story.
And
It's
so
a
we make
hard
one
hitter,
last descent,
and I'm pretty
down
sure
to the final
most
floor
of
of the
it is
level.
true.
It's a lamppost.
Yeah!
I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're gonna see it in the work as well. His games are just gonna become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. I remember this one. Nice room, not.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this
you did
game
this
is
game.
not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up.
How do you
I
beat
saw
this
him
game?
working on this very level,
No
and it was
point to
just
this.
so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person.
Whoa,
In
holy
retrospect, I
shit.
think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get
You
his
guys see me?
attention. I was over enthusiastic. But he was very
Hello.
gracious about it and very patient with me.
Reasonable.
And I cooled off eventually.
Everyone read
Oh,
this.
feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything
Hey.
for you. Nothing extra is going to happen.
This
if you
makes
read
me
all of them.
sad.
Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this
Oh,
person
secret.
who's
Once upon a
filled
time I
with
did.
thoughts and feelings
Define
and
fun.
beliefs and has no way to express them.
Yeah!
And voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played. But it's ironic, isn't it, that in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of
Alright,
connect
cool.
with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me.
Wooden
That I
grass.
could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much.
What the shit is
It's
this
because it
cavern?
felt
Yeah, no, I gotta go eat dinner. I'll be back.